Welcome to another weekend here on the platform. My name is Sam Omatseye. My column will be read to you now.
When it was under the water, many wondered. Now, like a mermaid, it has sloshed up into a spectacle in the making. There is no denier. If there was no sign or siren of its coming in 2019, now there are only silence and at times a muffled amen. The evidence of the eyes forbids speculation. No one now can say we don't have the second Niger Bridge as a foregone conclusion. From the east, gratitude is withheld. For Buhari to self-congratulate is to self-contaminate. Maybe they see the bridge as not handshake across the water. They see it as a material bribe, and bribes by definition are a moral filth. In the Niger Delta, the oil majors have drafted the Nigerian state to oppress those living in the oil-producing communities. They kill the people's water and farms with oil spills and pipelines. They give them pittance, while they die of diseases, hunger, and deprivation. Their history vanishes in the encroachments. They receive the pittance, and their lives only get worse. The Igbos curiously have not considered themselves unworthy of the second Niger Bridge. No one has said they rejected it and asked Buhari to stop. The social media, with its many divisions and genres of Igbo extraction, have been mum or benumbed by this project that, when completed, would be one of the marvels of infrastructure in the nation's history. We have not seen protests. Even Kanu has not raised a rebellious eye against it. Maybe the Igbo do not see it as help, but they are right, a right thing coming from the wrong man. Alas, when they had Jonathan, the right man did the wrong things. That's the paradox of the second Niger Bridge. Just as Buhari should look inwards and ponder how he wronged a people he had done such a good thing, he should also ponder his legacy, how he could secure the glory of gratitude. Except he doesn't want it. Or maybe he can't. Meanwhile, Fashola toils every day to deliver the marvel, while many marvel at the gulf between giver and taker. Maybe long after Buhari has gone, when they will ply that highway with gusto over its limpid waters, when they veer east for Christmas, for wedding bells, for yam festivals, to rest at their rural nests, they will remember one day that a tall and angular general with this workman who is another tall and white-haired lawyer and minister gave them away when they looked away.
Welcome to Big Talk. I have with me here a special guest. He's been here a couple of times and it's always an event. He's none other than General Alabi-Isama, a war strategist who, with the famous Adekunle, strategized the victory of the federal forces during the Nigerian Civil War under the 3rd Marine Commando, and also the Mitre-Sile conflict, which might have turned into a long-time conflagration, but he caught it quickly on the board. I welcome General Alabi-Isama.
Thank you. Thank you for receiving me.
What was your reaction to the train wreck?
The train attack baffled me. And because I had a very nasty experience of train attack in the Congo in 1961. In 1961, Nigerian troops, I was with the 3rd Battalion with General Bangboye, and I think Danjuma also was with the 3rd Battalion. Only 2 of us are alive today. But the story was, we were going on patrol every day, and the train will be moving and we will be in the vehicle. One day, I went to my boss, Major Hoyle, a British officer, and said, "Sir, they've just killed people in the train while we were on patrol on vehicles. Why can't we be inside the train?" He called me to explain. What happened was that when the bandits or terrorists entered the train, they killed the first people in front, and when they entered at the back, they killed the people at the back, and those who survived were the ones in the middle. And there was a woman holding a baby. Even though she was shot, that woman was still holding the baby. And it was by force that we got the baby off this woman. I almost shed tears. And I went to my boss to explain that we could sit in the train. He allowed us to sit in the train. They took a decision. One section of 7 men will be in the front. One section of 7 men will be at the back. Once the train will stop, it means we were being attacked by the Balubas. They were called Balubas, between a town called Luluabourg and Kele
In Congo.
in the Congo. The ones in the front will go to the right, and the ones at the back will go to the left. The ones in the center will remain there just in case, because some of the terrorists could have bought tickets as well.
Yeah.
And we had no GSM at that time, no telephone except military telephone. So the troops in the center will remain in the center in case anybody will attack the train. It was a drill, and it worked. Balubas never attacked the train till we left Congo in 1962. We can do the same thing here. But we kept on talking about surveillance, and we're going to use drone. We have no national infrastructure to address those things. What I'm saying is, if you have a surveillance, for instance, and you know it's Mr. Johnson, that's him going, where do you find him? And the people in the train said these were not Nigerians. So you have identified them. The drone identified them. So what next? It has to be backed up by action. Can I go to the board and explain this point?
Please do.
This is the train. And the troops here, a section of 7 men, troops here, a section of 7 men, and troops here, a section of 7 men. Once the train will stop, these people will go this way, and these people will go this way. These ones will remain inside the train. Now, the thing is, if by whatever the means, that in the case of the Nigerian one that happened between Kaduna, Abuja, or Abuja, Kaduna, they got these people because they had killed some here and killed some there. They got these people and took them away. Now, taking them away, the speed of the people, either they are walking, will be the speed of the laziest, either the child or a pregnant woman or a sick person. So that will dictate their speed. Now, if they were on motorcycle, that again, we should be able to know how many gallons the tank of a motorcycle, which is maybe 5 liters, and then they could not have gone beyond this place. I won't know about now, but in my time, I had a compass. You can easily know the distance that they will cover with that 5 liters of petrol. And all these places, all the petrol stations dotted here, that's where they will go to. There will be an action unit here, an action unit, either a standby helicopter or a standby jet fighter, whatever. You cannot bomb them. Otherwise, you will bomb the civilians that they took along with them. So what you will need to do, this action unit, that's why they had paratroopers, which you media tried to show sometimes, and they were practicing, and the parachutists will land there. That is why, again, town planning. Every town there will have a school, and each school will have a football field. The reason for the football field was for helicopter to land. You don't go and buy surveillance equipment for 3 billion, 4 billion, everybody talking about billion, and that the person should be paid up front. That is wrong, because even after you have identified them, what next? It has to be followed up by action. Your action, you cannot shoot them. You don't need all those fighters, all those jet fighters that they bought. The cost of those jet fighters could resettle even the IDP people. The cost of the second jet fighter could resettle even these bandits we're talking about. But the point about the train is that you do not need any surveillance equipment. First of all, from your ticketing. After buying your ticket, you put it in a machine, it comes out on the other side, and the door is opened for you. You pick up your ticket. That is security, that it wasn't a stolen ticket.
Yes.
Stolen ticket also could have been used the same way. If you put a stolen ticket, it will not come out the other way, and the police are there to arrest you immediately, and you will tell them where you bought your ticket. That's number one. Number two, the coach. You cannot open the coach from outside, only from inside. When the train stops, there is a train guard. The train guard will open the door at the same time. And that is when people can then go out or people can come in. And let's say, for instance, that one terrorist was inside the train. Before he will kill 1 or 2, 3 people, the troops in the center will get him. The troops here are not supposed to fire back, or this one fire, because they are out there and they are out there. It's a drill. If they move this way, these people will be there. And the speed, I mean, how can they carry 100 and something more people away? And we said we had people in the train. How that baffles me as a military person. And I pity these soldiers who face these bandits and criminals and terrorists every day. They get killed. And some people will come up and say, oh no, that they collude with them. Collude with them how? Now, they took these people away because there was no action backing up, even if there was surveillance. This is a simple thing. Back it up with an action, put the troops in the train.
That's quite graphic. Now, some may ask, if you have this kind of arrangement in place, where you have soldiers on the front coach, you have in the back coach, and you have some sprinkled within, and people will ask, how sufficient is that if you don't have surveillance to anticipate, intelligence to anticipate that these things are trying to happen, and then before you can trigger the other forces that are around to work?
Surveillance is to detect what is happening. It's not detecting.
Or even to know ahead of time.
Surveillance, if you have a surveillance, it says somebody is coming, a terrorist is coming to attack the train. That's what it will detect.
Yes.
Haven't detected that person that is coming to attack the train, what next? You need a national infrastructure. For instance, your shoe. When they pick up that mark on the floor, they know who made that shoe, they know who made that sole, they know which shop it was sold to. We don't have the national infrastructure for those systems.
That's still technology.
Yes, but that is what you need to have to back up a surveillance. Even if you put a drone, which has detected the people that came in and attacked the train, you still have to back it up with action. And remember, in the Congo in the 60s, there were no telephones, there were no GSM, and there was no way you could, even if you detected the people, how do you catch them? That is why it has to be backed up with a national infrastructure. the fingerprints, the face, the photographs, and all those things that after you have identified the person, you can now go and catch him.
Yeah, but the way we are now, how do we do it now that we don't even have this infrastructure?
That's
The
exactly.
infrastructure cannot be done overnight.
That's right.
What can we do today to handle this?
That's it.
That's what you're saying. That
You put the troops there, 7 men in front, they will have 2 weeks ammunition. 2 weeks, and then the radio will be there at the guard with the people at the guard so that
they can
now call and say, this has happened. We need reinforcement. You have 2 weeks ammunition with you. You will fight on.
Mm-hmm. Until they come.
Because look at the joke of it all, is that these people were not up to, the terrorists were not up to 100. But they collected, we were told, 100 million.
Yes.
Which means
from one man.
That's right. So that means for that day, each person got ₦1 million. Where else which work will they do to get that one? We have to have a national infrastructure to back up what is happening. And in this case, for instance, you have people earning 1 million from one attack. And they still have 160 people there. They have nothing to lose. They are terrorists, full stop. But my answer today, you see, I am here to give answers to these problems, what you call problem. It has gone from problem now to dilemma.
Crisis.
In a problem, that's why it is called, what do you call it these days? Challenges. You can always solve your problem. We have reached a dilemma point now. And that is why
How did we get
here.
to this dilemma point? People say that what we have now are bandits. They are in the forest. They know their names. They cannot go there and flush them out. We have soldiers. As I said last week on this show, we have soldiers. We have intelligence. We have equipment. We know these criminals, where they are.
Yes.
And we're just looking. We are spectators.
Let me ask one question, my audience. Are we experiencing what we don't understand? Let me say that again.
Or we don't understand
what we are experiencing. Do you get my point? Are we experiencing what we don't understand? Or do we understand what we're experiencing? Something is happening in the country that unfortunately cannot be explained even by the government itself. Because you have all these special advisors talking on behalf of the president. Zelensky didn't go to military school.
No, he didn't.
But he went everywhere looking for help.
He's a comedian.
Of course. And he went everywhere looking for help. We're hearing from special advisors, for instance, farmers, you didn't get permission to go to your farm. That's why you were killed.
That's why they killed you.
Are you saying that General Buhari, President Buhari that I know, will authorize that statement? Because if you say from presidency, it means the president approved it.
Well, the president didn't approve it. What did you do to the man who made the statement?
That's the point. So that is why I say, are we experiencing what we don't understand? Or what we understand what we're experiencing? Right now, something is happening. Soldiers are dying. People are dying. People are poor, hungry, and angry. And there is corruption everywhere, everybody wanting to award contract in billions and billions. And people did not know what is happening. What is happening, I will explain today. And I will start from Lake Chad. Are we experiencing what we don't understand? or do we understand what
we are experiencing?
I must draw for you the map of West Africa. If you draw West Africa like this, and we start from Mauritania. It is not to scale. And then you come to Senegal. You come to Gambia. Now, from here, you come to Mali. And there, you come to Burkina Faso. Then you have Niger. Then you have Chad. Then from Chad, you have northern Cameroon. It is not to scale, but I'm trying to illustrate and explain something that we are experiencing, and the whole country does not seem to understand what is happening. So we are now in northern Cameroon. From Cameroon, you have Sudan. From Sudan, you have Ethiopia. From Ethiopia, you have this little place called Djibouti. There are 12 countries in the Sahel. These 12 countries are French. Nigeria will be somewhere between Chad, this is Lake Chad, and this will be Nigeria here. This is Lake Chad. Lake Chad has oil that is there in their reserve. They have gas, about 15 cubic feet of gas in Lake Chad area. You also have about 300 to 400 million gas to liquid, like in Finima in Nigeria, all in Lake Chad. Niger is drilling oil. They have oil. For those who are listening to me, who have traveled Nigeria to Tripoli across the desert, like I did, going through Agadez, Zenda, Sirte into Tripoli. If you have traveled on that, you will see that the oil field in Agadez is called Agadem. And the one in Zenda is called Zenda. They are drilling oil there now. If this is Niger, they are drilling oil there as we speak. And I will show these facts when I will show what I did with my Tessine in the 70s. I went there personally. I was not told. I went there. Now, in the case of Chad, they have oil that they are drilling in Diffa. I know that. And in the Cameroon area, for instance, Cameroon is drilling about 200 barrels of oil per day. Chad, about 300 barrels of oil per day. And they have a pipeline going in there to the port. It's port called Kribi.
You mean in Cameroon?
In Cameroon. The port is called Port Kribi in the Bight of Guinea. So it's 1,000 kilometers of pipeline. This 1,000 kilometers, Cameroon is making a lot of money from the pipeline royalty. Chad is drilling oil. Cameroon is drilling oil. Niger is drilling oil. Nigeria sent people, I think they gave a contract to some Chinese companies to go and do exploration.
Yeah.
But the soldiers, 19 soldiers were killed, and about 30 or 35 civilians were killed, escorting people from Nigerian side. That is why today, Nigeria is not drilling in Lake Chad. So, the whole of this Sahel up to Djibouti, they are French. We had had a brush with Niger before. We had had a brush with Chad before. We had had a brush with Cameroon before. Even in Bakassi. Because Marine Commando went to attack Bakassi because they were attacking Nigeria from the rear, from the back. For those who have read my book, the picture is there in the book. And I went with Azigboro to go and attack Bakassi. Bakassi was not a Nigerian land. Our land stops at where they call River Apayafe. And that was where we stopped.
Here is my poem on the politician.
Can he walk alone, even if he seems to mope? Better to grope like a lone egungun under a night sky than whine in their sty, where many pigs lie. If booed, he would defy, and by that advertise that he is a pearl above his peers. No time for humble pie to the swine.
Thank you for being on this show. You can join my column at www.samomatseye.com and my Twitter at Sam Omatseye. And until next time, be good.